When an eagle swoops down on its prey from the sky and strikes with its enormous talons, it seems impossible to escape. However, we'll show you astonishing cases where eagles have picked the wrong opponents and faced such resistance that they themselves panicked and had to flee to save their lives. When this hawk attacked a hen and her chicks, it had no idea it was facing an MMA enthusiast. The ordinary chicken turned out to be an extraordinary fighter. Not only did it instantly react to the attack and defend its chicks, but it also didn't let go of its aggressor and engaged in the fight. The hawk fiercely defended itself, sitting on its tail, extending its 2 legs with sharp claws against the enemy. However, the chicken didn't care. It didn't allow the hawk to rise from the ground and take off. It seemed to have decided to teach the insolent raptor a lesson. The chicken literally stomped the hawk against the ground. The raptor appeared shocked and on the verge of hysteria. The chicken, unable to fly well, could still rise a bit to attack from above. Its strong and agile legs with claws and spurs inflicted painful damage on the hawk, forcing it to hastily find escape routes. Some eagles like to hunt fish. However, their tactic for capturing these prey is very specific. Unlike water birds, raptors cannot land on the surface of water to dive deeper and reach their prey. Water birds have feathers covered with a specific substance that repels water, like grease, so their feathers don't get wet. Diurnal raptors lack this advantage. If their feathers get wet, the fibers lose their shape and become soft. If this happens to the wing feathers, the bird will simply drown, losing its ability to fly and unable to get out of the water. If the feathers dry, the bird can fly again, but the eagle cannot traverse long distances over water because raptors don't know how to swim and can barely stay on the water surface, if at all. Therefore, eagles take great risks approaching water, but they do it to feed. They seek fish that have come close to the surface, then approach the water, catch their prey in moments, and take it away. Eagles touch the water only with their feet and sometimes their stomachs, but the wings remain dry. This is how eagles catch quite large fish and even sharks that are completely defenseless in the air. However, this creature turned out to be prepared to fight in any environment. It was an octopus, a cephalopod with which it was better not to mess. When the eagle tried to pull its prey out of the water, the octopus refused to surrender. This surprisingly intelligent creature began to counterattack fiercely with all its limbs. The octopus entangled the eagle and prevented it from escaping. It finally made the bird crash into the water, but the octopus didn't let go. Instead, it continued to entwine and pull the eagle down. It was impossible for a relatively small octopus to eat a huge bird. Perhaps it was retaliation for trying to hunt it. Why do you think the octopus didn't give in when it escaped and kept dragging the eagle down? In any case, the bird is doomed. It probably regretted grabbing not a helpless fish, but this reddish spot that turned out to be a real monster. Fortunately, people on a boat saw the scene and used a cage to save the winged hunter from the octopus. Would you have intervened in this battle? This bald eagle saw a fox carrying its prey from a distance. The eagle could have attacked even the fox itself, but it decided to settle for its lunch. The eagle attacked precisely and took the prey out of the fox's mouth. However, the bird underestimated the predator. It turned out that a fox can be a stubborn and very strong animal. It didn't open its jaws despite the sudden attack and stood up. The eagle was not prepared for such a turn of events and slowed down. The fox seized the opportunity, quickly moved its legs to deprive the eagle of its balance. Finally, the eagle released both the fox and its prey and fled hungry. The courage of the red predator and its reaction deserve your like. Don't you think? Vultures are powerful birds of prey with a characteristic curved and sharp beak and dagger-shaped claws. However, these birds almost never hunt. Instead, they have real talent for finding carrion. This scavenging ability has allowed them to grow to enormous sizes, and sometimes vultures take prey from jackals and other scavengers not as large. However, this flock of birds overestimated its own strength. They dared to eat the lion's prey before the huge cat had finished its own lunch. Big mistake. the king of beasts decided to teach the vultures a lesson. Despite its enormous weight of almost a quarter of a ton, the lion managed to jump and grab one of the birds, adding it to its lunch as a dessert. The remaining vultures scattered in panic. From now on, they'll be more careful. Eagles may have finished off an adult goose and dominated a larger bird, but in this case, character strength and parental love decided everything. When the eagle attacked a family of geese, it thought it could steal one or even several chicks. Big mistake. Instead of fleeing in terror to seek shelter from the aerial attack, both parents showed incredible heroism. They fought the eagle, even though it was too fast. The geese reached the wings and launched a risky attack each time it came to attack. They reached the wings and launched a risky attack each time it came to attack. They could have been seriously injured if caught, but the brave birds threw themselves into danger to protect their chicks, and their courage paid off. The eagle remained hungry and couldn't snatch any of the goslings. The hawk attacked the duck and delivered a devastating blow, but the duck didn't give up. The hawk had to land to finish its prey. And then something amazing happened. There was a whole group of geese nearby, each much larger than the hawk. They attacked the raptor even though it had shown no aggression toward them. Perhaps the geese were fascinated by the duck's courage in fighting for its life. Or maybe they just wanted to drive the predator out of their territory. What do you think? Share your opinion in the comments. In this amazing case of camaraderie among three species, the geese managed to take the duck away from the raptor. The hawk didn't expect such aggression from the large and numerous birds, so it surrendered. But the duck was mortally wounded. Still, the bravery of the geese is worthy of respect. They didn't rush to finish off the duck, which means their aggression was specifically directed against the raptor. Also, the geese stayed close to the duck for some time, as if they were guarding it. The falcon attacked the crow and almost defeated it. However, the blackbird proved to be too stubborn to give up easily. It had no chance, and its strength was fading as the raptor's sharp talons clamped down on its beak and throat and pierced its belly. Yet, the falcon itself was also almost paralyzed. The struggle with the body was draining all its strength. Meanwhile, the crow's relatives had approached the scene. They didn't stand aside or look fearfully at the confrontation. Instead, they swooped down on the raptor to save their fellow crow. The help of the other crow, although admirable, raises no doubts. They must be members of the same flock. But the most surprising thing is that magpies join the rescue operation, members of another species. It's as if leopards were trying to protect lions from hyenas, or foxes were defending wolves from bears. Such interspecies cooperation is very rare. But the episode only confirms the intelligence of corvids, who can unite against a raptor even with those who are not very similar to them. What do you think of this episode? Share your opinion in the comments. The eagle felt very secure in the tree's crown. The branches might be too thin for large predators like hyenas or lions, but the eagle clearly underestimated the leopard. The spotted predator was so agile that it could approach the eagle through the thinner branches and pounce on it before it realized it was in danger. One must not underestimate the leopard. The cat grabbed the eagle effortlessly, seizing the bird's neck with its jaws. The eagle had no chance in a fight against such a predator. The golden eagle is considered one of the strongest birds on the planet. They can even hunt young wolves. These birds use the typical raptor tactic but refine it. They rise high above their prey, then fold their wings and fall, exposing their claws forward. However, the golden eagle doesn't fold its wings entirely. It still controls the fall's direction and can stop it almost instantly to rise again. Acceleration is needed not only to make the launch faster, but also to add power to the impact. Thanks to gravity's help, the impact produced by a golden eagle can break the spine of an animal 4 to 5 times heavier and bulkier than the bird itself. And the eagle doesn't try to finish the hunt with a single blow. It's prepared for a long battle. After spreading its wings, the golden eagle continues to glide over its prey and attacks again. Such an effective tactic that these birds were used by humans to hunt wolves hundreds of years ago, and are still used in some parts of Asia. What do you think of this type of hunting? Share your opinion in the comments. Each talon of the raptor is as long as a knife, and there are 8 in total. When several blades strike a dozen times in a minute, the victim of the attack barely stands a chance, even if it's a carnivorous beast, especially after the first devastating blow. However, this tactic is not entirely perfect. An experienced wolf can free itself from the eagle's grip and then use its main weapon, its jaws. The predator doesn't limit itself to biting. It grabs its opponent and shakes it from side to side. This confuses the bird, preventing it from regaining balance, and causes serious damage. The royal eagle simply cannot reach the wolf's eyes with its claws, because its jaws pull the bird to the ground like a wet rag, over and over. Each strike makes the hollow and light bones of the bird crunch, and when the wolf reaches the eagle's throat, it has no chance. This royal eagle decided to use its favorite trick with a huge shepherd dog. It seems that the dog is behind the wolf in terms of strength and fury, and usually it is, except that the royal eagle knows nothing about canine breeds. It's not looking at a Pomeranian, it's looking at a real fighter. And you know what? The bird had every chance of triumphing even against this enemy. It lunged at the dog and delivered the blow, although not perfectly accurate, so it didn't break the dog's neck. Still, the royal eagle dug its claws in and began methodically striking with its legs. But the bird underestimated its opponent. These dogs have been specifically bred to resist predators. They're used to responding blow for blow, covering each other's backs, and always moving in a group. It's difficult to say if the dog could have faced a huge eagle on its own, but it didn't have to. The friends came to the rescue, attacking the royal eagle together and quickly ending it. 3 dogs can scare away a bear. The royal eagle is practically defenseless against them. They managed to pull it by the nape and then dragged it on the ground, not allowing the bird to regain balance and take flight again. First, the eagle grabbed onto something, and then they grabbed it by the wing, stretched it, and finished it while it lay upside down. It could no longer defend itself with its legs. In the end, the royal eagle became the prey of these dogs. This is what good teamwork means. There's a stereotype that swans are sweet and innocent, with an elegant curve in their neck and a gentle character. They do look elegant, and the strict monogamy of these birds is romantic for human taste. However, in the wild, swans have another characteristic that is not often discussed. These white beauties are real bullies in the bird world. Where a pair of swans settles, no one else settles. They ravage other nests, lurk, strike, and drown other species. In other words, they take over the entire water body they choose, even if its surface is much larger than they need to live. This eagle was clearly unaware of these swan habits. It was quietly fishing and hunting various aquatic creatures and was already eyeing the white birds, evaluating them as a potential dinner. Why not? Sharp claws, check. A powerful beak, also present. Could a large and strong eagle confront a swan? Well, it turns out no. The swan itself launched an aggressive attack, and the eagle was simply stunned by the pressure with which the white one decided to attack. The diurnal raptor was in shallow waters. The water barely reached its belly. However, even though the swan is not armed with sharp claws or a beak, it has enormous strength by avian standards. It could have grabbed the eagle with its beak and dragged it into the depths to easily drown the unwelcome guest. The eagle had to flee. Have you seen scenes in movies where the character was so desperate that no threat had an effect on him? Something similar happened here, only in reality and in the wild. This royal eagle is strong enough to hunt even young deer. A fox can be a tough target for it, but it's still not a dangerous opponent. The royal eagle is used to foxes being afraid, fleeing while the bird closed them from behind. We don't know what kind of drama this red-haired fighter had in its life. Maybe it fought with its partner or lost a good hunting spot. In any case, when the fox noticed the royal eagle, it didn't even think about fleeing. The bird is in shock, perhaps thinking that the fox hasn't noticed its presence. The eagle doesn't know what it's getting into, So, it lands and launches a frontal attack on the fox to scare it and create panic. The fox stares at the eagle, as if saying, come on, are you threatening me? Then show me what you can do. The fox is clearly inferior to the royal eagle in fighting ability, so it doesn't attack first. But the red-haired one's toughness makes the dangerous raptor jump back and retreat. Royal eagles and other large eagles living in the mountains can hunt herbivores weighing 10 to 15 times more than themselves. Even for powerful raptors with dagger-like claws, this difference is too large for a normal fight. That's why birds use gravity as a weapon. These eagles are strong enough to use acceleration and speed to lift a goat or a sheep, and then throw it off a cliff directly into an abyss. The herbivore flies a short distance in the raptor's claws, but the bird calculates everything so that there is enough depth under the victim when it loosens its grip. Finally, the victim will collapse to the ground, and all that's left to do is fly down to start eating. It's great, right? But herbivores themselves don't like this plan much. So, this herbivore decided to snub the royal eagle in a way it would remember for the rest of its life. When the bird had a crushing blow on the herbivore's back, it rushed towards a steep ledge. However, it's not the fall the predator wanted. The herbivore is running and has little control over its speed. But the bird can't lift it in the air either. The royal eagle doesn't retreat or loosen its grip. It even seems to enjoy it. It feels like a cowboy riding a Mustang that needs to be trained and subdued. By spreading its wings, the bird maintains balance and continues struggling and squeezing, digging its claws into the victim's back. It can't throw it that easily, but the raptor underestimated its prey. The prey does something incredible. It pulls so that the bird is ahead and crashes into the rock at full speed. This way, the herbivore practically ran the rock with the body of its enemy, and due to the fall's inertia, the goat had the royal eagle and finished it. The bird is alive, but one can only guess at the wounds and internal fractures it suffered. However, the goat prevented critical damage since it landed on the soft bird. Of course, the bird hurt its back, but it was able to get rid of this harasser and return to the herd. Great, right? The eagle did not expect such audacity. It was eating quietly when the cat noticed it. For this raptor, a domestic cat can also be prey. A bald eagle can handle a beast a couple of times heavier and larger than a cat. But the free stranger doesn't care who's in front of it. It seeks excitement and wants a snack at the same time. It approaches the eagle stealthily, but the bird discovers it. Interestingly, on the ground, the raptor has no desire to fight against the beast with claws. Most likely, the eagle would have won, but claw strikes to the eyes are a very bad way to end the day. So, when both opponents realized that they had seen each other, they simply turned around and started looking around. It was as if there had been a dialogue between them. Who are you? Just passing by, enjoying the surroundings. And you? I'm also taking a walk, admiring the beautiful landscape. The way potential enemies ignore each other is amusing and at the same time demonstrates that predators usually rely on a surprise attack. But if they realize they've been discovered, they can withdraw. Curiously, this trait is common in both mammals and birds. Still, the eagle was clearly surprised by the cat's insolence.